Here, in lesson 79, part 9, we're taking a look at Tom Watson. Tom Watson nearly won the Open at Turnberry at the age of 60, he was just before 60, and he just came with a gnat's whisker, had one bad bounce, and he lost in a playoff to Stuart Sink. Watson was an amazing contributor to the game. Nicklaus in the 60s and early 70s was the dominant force, and then in 1975 at Carnoustie he had the breakthrough. Tom Watson won, and he won, I believe, in a playoff against the late great Jack Newton, the Australian. Now, what was so interesting about Tom Watson is that he was affected by the coachings of Byron Nelson, who was one of the absolute greats of the American golf between the wars and just after. I think in one season he won 11 events in 1 year. Never been done before or since. So, what we were used to, going back into the Hogan and back into the Persimmon era, was the shots where the left leg broke and the club face rolled. But the Americans, because they had steel shafts before we did, and the baseball tradition, they went through the shot. And they had basically constant knee flex. So in the backswing, the right knee would move back a little bit but retain its flex, into impact and through to finish. See, the left knee still has flex, but the Brits would have jumped the left leg out of the way. As I mentioned to you in an earlier piece, Alex Hay got me doing this sort of half drill because working the Y shape to and fro works the core muscles and encourages constant knee flex. So the knee staying constant within the swing is the hallmark of good swing playing. It's not the cause of good swing playing, but it tends to happen when you swing in that particular way. You could say about Tom Watson that his optimum swing would be here, but in fact he lived above the plane. So he was rather like Colin Montgomery and Bobby Jones. He was above plane, wristy this way and wristy through. Now when you're making that type of swing, where the swing feels to be out in front of you, then the knee flex remains constant. If you're playing a fade, then the left leg breaks away. But if you're swinging in plane or slightly above it, constant knee flex is a healthy characteristic. I'm going to hit a couple of half shots now. Just watch my right knee flex going back and finishing. So this is the exercise to improve your leg action, weight shift and knee flex. Half a swing back and through. You see my left leg is still flexed. Jack Grout, who was Nicklaus's boyhood coach, said to Nicklaus that when you swing back, your knee is flexed, and if anything, the feet will roll this way. Now, rolling the feet, again, was consistent with the club head going towards the target. Jumping onto the toe and back onto the heel was not as accurate. So, Nicklaus understood it, and Tom Watson was the perfect demonstration of constant knee flex in the golf swing. Mainly because he lived a bit above plane, that made his swing a bit more upright and quite long. There was the old myth that the club should be pointing down the target line at the top. Well, that's nonsense. That might happen once. Watson went so far back with his swing that he went beyond horizontal and appeared to be laid on or right at target. He wasn't. It was just a long swing. If I made a short swing in plane, that's not laid off. That's laid off. This is in plane. So when you saw Watson with the driver beyond horizontal, if anything, it would appear to be across the line. But it wasn't. This would be across the line, but a long swing is just what it is. It's a long swing. So this is the 18th hole at Turnberry, and what happened in the Jewel in the Sun 1977, Tom Watson and Jack Nicklaus separated themselves from the field. They were 5 or 6 shots ahead. It was head to head. The course was burnt to a crisp. It was dry and bouncy, and both guys at the top of their game. And on the last hole, Nicklaus from a gorse bush made 3. If you get a chance on YouTube, just go and look at Watson's swing, the 18th hole at Turnberry in 1977. And I can't remember which year in Birkdale, but there's the Birkdale victory for Watson. He hit his 3-iron off the pathway, very, very compressed, tight lie, and absolutely killed it. So I've always, if I wanted to think of a great swing when I needed a shot, then my choice would be Tom Watson. And I would be thinking this: up, knee flex, through and up, knee flex. So that would how I would describe the Watson swing: upright and wristy with constant knee flex. Apart from the clubbing, it was absolutely perfect.